Welcome back, everyone, to Resonance Cast, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of Blue Protocol Star Resonance. This is episode 3, and I'm your host, Percy, joined once again by the legendary duo Kai and Bidov. Say hello, boys.
Hello.
There we go. We always mess this part up. Uh, Today, we are peeling back the layers after spending over a week in game. We will be talking about the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, and what we think is working or really needs work after, once again, the experience so far after the Chinese release. Plus, we are covering everything swirling around the Western closed beta test. We got a few additional infos revealed around the beta test. The recruitment process is ongoing, so we will talk about all those things. So buckle up, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. First week impression. I mean, it's a little bit over a week. So let's talk about the good stuff first. So Kai, what was good about this week? Where were you positively surprised when you played the game in the last few days?
For me, I think I'm just glad to be playing the game again after the beta test. To me, also, I noticed for me personally, the game runs smoother, even though my PC is kind of on the lower end. I feel like for me, the improvement in the performance was noticeable for me, especially when like flying or like doing content with a lot of people. Overall, I think it's noticeable that it's in a different state from the beta. We have like some good things. Personally, I like the socializing is back, as in the mates are still doing their things. They're still role playing and everything, and might indulge in that now and then. And of course, farming dungeons like normal too. It's still a good thing to me. Like I just enjoy grinding away, albeit not for everyone. But you're not forced to do it in the long run.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that those are the impressions of a no-lifer, but we also have a no-lifer too here, aka Video. So,
Okay.
what did you grind? What did you like about the grind?
What did I like about the grind? Just getting gear. I mean that's a common thing to like in MMOs. I mean, just the first day there's a lot to do. Like I didn't even run out of stuff to do, honestly. Like even if there was no server issues, which we'll probably touch on that later on. There was like days where I was able to play like 20 plus hours, and then I just don't have. I still just keep. There's nothing. There's just, oh my, not nothing, but there's still more to do, right?
Yeah.
There's never a moment where I can just sit back, because there's like several more things that I can do for gear progression always. And going into day 10, it's still kind of like that, but then it's not like it's mandatory to do. You could still get by with like a couple hours of just playing the game. I
Yeah.
just do it because it's because I want to min max the
Yeah.
very small stats.
Say it. Say it. The no lifer. Okay. No, that's that's the important thing. Like if you wouldn't have mentioned that part that it's nothing, like you said, like, oh, I did 20 hours of grind on first day, and I still had a lot of things to do. This could be a point where people would be like, wait, I have to spend 20 hours. No, guys. Once again, we will start with this, so that's clear from the beginning. If you're a casual, these guys, they love to grind. So there are things which are not mandatory, and I'm pretty sure you and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kai and Bidov, a lot of those grinds you did were things which are not directly tied to mandatory progress which you need to unlock the next content or something. Like these are additional things you did, right? Give me some examples what you did, for example. And for example, for example,
so field bosses, they drop a gear for you. Basically, we were just farming that for hours at a time, getting gold gear, which is like the highest tier or rarity of gear. But then we kept farming it because we want the specific substats on it. So substats are like these like random rolls that you get on each individual gear piece. It's not needed for progression at all, but then again, I just wanted to min-max my damage.
You exactly. You want to see the damage number go like one point up. Ah, okay. Kai, was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was the same for me. Like, I mean, I hate to be that guy. He speaks about getting gold gear here. I didn't get. I'm gonna say it. I maybe had the most boring stream ever, farming world bosses for 10 hours, farming all 50, and not getting a single gold drop, not even for my class. I couldn't be more disappointed. However, as Badu mentioned, naturally it's not mandatory. The same goes for like dungeon grinding, which you can farm dungeons infinitely in this game, but of course you don't really have to do that at all. You can just get by with doing like minimal progress and you'll be completely fine.
Exactly. So once again, that was an important thing we should always point out. Like every time these guys are talking about, oh, I did this and that, we should always point out, hey, this is only required if you want to see the numbers go up, but for nothing else. Okay, so the other thing would be the time gate, right? We talked about this in our very first podcast. We all agreed that initially it might look scary, but at the same time, everyone who played this game kind of agrees at this point that this time gate is so good, so well perfectly executed, I would even say, to keep up this community feeling throughout the entire. I mean, to this point, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go on like this for a couple more days, so that the community moves together to certain milestones and unlocks together everything, and the world changes. It just feels like this kind of MMO feeling is something you wouldn't get usually, because within a few days the hardcore grinders are at the end game, then you have everyone else scattered around different zones, so it doesn't feel as MMO like anymore. So did any of your opinions change, or did it just got more solidified that this is a really great approach? For the first few weeks, of course. I just want to mention this time gate is only there is a global thing. So if you join the game a couple weeks later, there won't be any time gates until you reach the point if there's still a time gate at a global level.
Yeah, playing this game, I believe that the time gate is something that they have done really well. I think comparatively to other MMOs, you always see like the time gates being like an awful thing. But then myself and like most other people that have experienced this game, we played like the CBT and it was perfectly fine. And then fast forward into launch, it's still fine right now, because there's still a lot that you can be doing to progress your account, and it's not going to be like all wasted, because a lot of things get transferred over to like let's say like next item level. There's like next item level worth of gear. You'll still be able to transfer a lot of that progression over to that tier, and then there's other side things that you can work on besides just the gear, like upgrading gear slot pieces. That one is that thing is pretty much a count wide upgrade, and then like talent points, skill points, etc. There's a lot of things that pretty much help your account for the long run, for the long term.
Yeah, and the Pokédex, what you guys also farmed, like all the
Yes.
golden Nepos and the golden picks for the mounts. Yeah, a lot of those shiny things to catch. So Kai,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
No. I was just agreeing.
And Kai, what about you? Like, did you like the time gate, or any concerns? Like, if we would have the same system for Western release.
I mean, it's a question I get relatively commonly, and personally, I'm begging to everything that it's gonna be in the global version, because even though I'm like a grinder when it comes to like try hard grinding, I also feel like it would stress me out if there was no time gate, and instead of like, I don't know, 10 hours or around 8 hours a day, I would playing like 20 hours a day, because I feel like I would like fall behind or anything like that. But on top of that, it's also really good for the casual players that are not able to play as much. They can naturally keep up with us without having to spend as much time. While we, the tryhards, have enough things to grind, even though this time gate is in place, I think it's completely fine to have them both balanced in a way that we can farm and they can play at their own pace.
Yeah, I mean, you guys summed up what I feel about the system too. And in general, once again, this is a game focused around the casual side of people more than the hardcore PvPers or hardcore grinders. But you still, as you guys explained, have a lot of things to do, even as a hardcore player / no lifer. And so from that perspective, so from the target group, which is once again the casuals, this Timegates takes away so much pressure. You do, like, especially in the MMO release at the beginning, you want to explore the world, but you have to do this one checklist with 10,000 items. You have to do on the first day, otherwise you're going to miss out so many things on the second day, or everyone will be so far ahead of you, like content wise, not just gear core wise or item level wise. So I think it takes away a lot of this pressure / FOMO. Do you guys agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So nothing changed. We still agree. Please, like I agree with Kai once again. I want this system to be there for the Western release. People might be shocked. People who didn't listen to this, people who don't have the information we just talked about, might be not in favor of it because there were so many bad examples for this Timegate from other games, but this one is so well done. And I hope those people who are listening to this spread the word. People, spread the word. Okay, so next is still we are about talking about the first week impressions. The community perception. So let's split it into, like, once again, let's not talk about the performance server issues because that's something we will address later or as the next point. But for now, in general, the Western community, at least, like we are all active in the Discords, where the Western players sneak into the CN servers and play for weeks. So, what do you think? Like, how is the general feeling, the atmosphere of those people? Do they like it? In general, are they still enjoying it, or do you think they are already bored of it?
I think that they are basically enjoying it from what I'm gathering. They are still actively asking questions and about the game and ask concerns. Sometimes they have them when it comes to like certain things like Imagine Gacha or like certain overall performance of the game. But overall the perception seems rather positive from what I've gathered. Like people want to join the guilds and everything. People are being friendly, people are helping each other out. Kind of like how I would like the community to be overall, just helping each other out and being there for one another and just enjoying the game together more than anything.
Sounds great. And what was your observation, Bidov?
There was a lot of curious. We're just talking about people that were able to play or people that are spectating.
I mean, able to play, yeah, of course.
Oh, able to play. Okay. Yeah. Those that like got past all the checks, that were in place for in the China region. Yeah, a lot of them are still playing to this day. I mean, some like we said, like this is a casual game, so it's not really mandatory to grind as much as I do. But like, there's people that come in for like a few hours and a couple hours. They do all their like dailies, or they just hang out, maybe run some content with friends, and then they just wait until the next day and then probably do it all over again. But then pretty much everyone that I've seen play, they've been really enjoying the game. There are like a couple issues that they do address every now and then, but just from what I've been observing, I think they've been enjoying it for the most part.
That sounds great. We will not ignore those issues. We will talk about those issues later in this podcast, or actually would be one of those things we will address now. But yeah, I have also, in general, I have the feeling people are enjoying it. I mean, if you were able to play, there are a couple people in the community who weren't able to play or don't want to play a Chinese version of the game and waiting for the Western one, who just get the information at the surface level and are worried. But luckily, I have the feeling a lot of those people who played the game are there to correct them and provide the actual information they needed to get a better understanding of it. So overall, I like how the community is handling currently. Thankfully, I mean, I don't think it's the major cause of it, why it works so well so far, but definitely it's a factor, which is there's no like grudge going on, no GVGs, no PvPs. There's like, it's a world where we do stuff together and progress together. And the only competition there is, hey, did you clear this hard mode? And that's was also something, from my point of view, I didn't have much time to play. What I did so far was just mostly dailies, a little bit of grind, not a lot. And that was enough for me to, like, I just logged in a few minutes ago before I started the podcast. I could do all the stuff which just got unlocked. And then we started the podcast. Otherwise, I would have chilled a little bit in the city or just, checked what I still need for collection stuff. But it just feels like, I don't, like, it doesn't feel like I don't have to do anything. So, yeah, it's overall great.
I was gonna say, and some people that are playing are just treating it as like a little demo for themselves to just like discover some classes before actually just going out on a global version and making a proper decision for themselves, which is also completely understandable with the game being in Chinese and everything.
Yeah, totally. Not everyone has like there are a lot of people who are afraid of having to run through all the maze of the Chinese language. If you are a gay, if you played a lot of games from Asia with a different language like Korean, Chinese, you will be able to manage through this. But if you are an average gamer, that's something which definitely is a barrier. So I can totally understand if they just want to absorb or just get the basics of the game and then wait for the localized version for the West. So next one. So we talked about the initial impressions. Now let's talk about one of the biggest issues we had, which was the server related issue. So at the beginning, when the game released, we had a lot of server stability problems. A lot of people couldn't connect or got disconnected. There were lags going on. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was like for like 1-2 days, and then it got better and better. And currently there is no issue at all. So that's something I wanted to point out. Of course, it was only for the first few days, but it was still an issue. And it's so sad to see that it is not like any surprise to me. We know from the numbers that there were 10 million pre-registered for this game in China. And I heard from sources that the concurrent player peak at release was 7 digits. So if I compare that to other MMOs which got recently released, who got not even that that many people, they all struggle with servers. It seems like a normal thing. Never play on release day. Not anymore. Never play on patch day, but also never play on release day. So the other thing which is different from the other games which got recently released, we have a mega server. So there's no multiple services. It's it's all those people are on one server. What was your feeling about this entire situation? Do you think they could have done better? Do you think it was to be expected?
So quickly, just rip all those people that took a PTO play the launch. I think they could have done a much better job. I felt. Oh, I mean, like I played many MMOs. I mean, I know that server issues are a very common thing for sure. But then I felt like this like server issue, they somehow were able to elevate it to a different level to where it felt, and I can see that amongst like just reading comments from like the Chinese and also like global players, like it just seemed much more frustrating to deal with because like okay, so other MMOs, they have like what do they have? They have like server queues, right? In Star Resonance, they don't have that kind of system. I think that might be one of the reasons why many weren't able to even log in because too many would just try to get in at the same time, and then it would just deny access to like pretty much everyone. I think
yeah.
I'm not like I'm not no IT person. I'm more of like business major, so maybe I'm not understanding a lot of this. But then I think without a server queue, it's like I treat a server queue like a line, right? So you have like people just lining up to get into the game. But then like if there's no server queue, then there's no line, so everyone's just trying to rush through, the door, getting into the game. So I mean that's why it's like taking a little bit longer to get people flowing through the doors.
Oh, it's more like I get it now. Sorry to interrupt you, but the line or the server queue is a really great topic you bring up. I agree with you. Like having that number helps. Because you can at least assume there is like an order. There is like, hey, my entry is counted. I just need to wait. But at the same time, man, I know a lot of MMOs where there was a queue. Even not MMOs. I remember the same for Path of Exile 2. It had a queue. And when you reached the queue, at the end of the queue, there was a DC. That was also the case for a lot of other MMOs. And I feel like it is definitely better if you have a queue and the queue guarantees that you get in at some point. But I would rather have no queue than a queue which just disconnects you midway or when you're about to hit 0. That feels way worse than having no queue. But
does it?
Yes.
I don't know. Like because right now if you're trying to connect, you like there's no feedback to the user to know that if they're actually connecting or not. So you don't know if your time is being wasted waiting, or you should just Alt F4 and then try something else. I feel like it's a lot worse in that regard.
I mean, I can understand your point of view, but at the same time, if people are on the stream or so is trying the same and get in by doing that. That's not a really great pro no queue argument, but what I want to say is there are benefits for having a queue, definitely, and there is also the frustration if the queue doesn't work as intended. If you wait, like start from 30k and then get to 500 and then get a DC, oof, that is a rage quit moment. What do you think, Kai?
I think it kind of goes both ways. I think the queue is much better when it comes to like player satisfaction, because at least they feel like, okay, I'm in a line, I'm waiting, at least I'm holding a position. But even though you have it, it doesn't in line. Like even though you're in line, it doesn't mean that the line will move at all. Like for an example, in the early game launch, I got really lucky and I got like instantly in the game, whereas others had to wait like multiple hours before they even had a chance of getting in the game. And like whether there was a queue system or not, there was just no chance they were getting in, because they were basically not allowing more people in the first place. So at that point, I feel like you either just have to shut down the server entirely and just focus on fixing it, rather than having like a line or not. I feel like it's more an internal issue where you have to focus on that rather than focus on a line or no line, and just fix the issues that are there at hand.
Oh, that's Bill and I are like queue or no queue, and Kai's like no server.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think it's better to just fix the issue rather than have everybody being frustrated and waiting, and just take the game down for everyone instead.
Oh yeah, if I can't get in, don't let anyone else in. No, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, I say that as someone that was able to play. Like I was in early on. I just know others didn't have any fun.
Yeah, I mean, we are also all talking here from a point of view of people who have no clue about server tech and stuff like that. So we are basically those people sitting on the couch and telling the professional players, "I could have done better." But I know it's still like the feeling, the atmosphere around the launch matters. A lot of games get really negative reviews at the beginning because of performance or server issues. Luckily, there was no performance issues, right? Performance, once again, you mentioned earlier, was great. I really loved it. But all the server being on fire related issues were lag and queue and disconnects for the first 2 days were awful. So TLDR, a queue would be nice to see that it's moving. Also, kind of making sure that not too many people are trying to go through that small lock-in funnel, as it feels like. So if A plus or the Bokura is listening, please add a queue. That would be nice. And make the queue work, not that it just kicks you at the end. That would be bad. And please be aware of the numbers. Once again, I want to highlight that there was 7 digits numbers going on CCU wise. Likely, once again, 10 million people pre-registered. So let's assume just 10% tried to go in on the first day, which usually is like one of the highest peaks, especially around weekends. Then it was an absolute high amount of numbers, which you barely see in any of the games released in Western, especially MMOs. So yeah, please be aware of that, and I hope the tech is ready for the Western one so that we won't have the same issues. But that is a lot of copium, right?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
We can only hope for the best, or cope, whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope they learn from their mistakes.
Ideally,
I do still believe that it's a really good game, aside from a couple issues, and I mean like the main one being the server issues. Just I'm just hoping for the best.
Yeah. Before we close this topic, there's one more thing we need to point out, which is I think it's not important for some, but I just want to bring it up. There was that CN livestream scandal. You guys heard about that?
yeah.
Yep.
So for those who are not aware about it, a TLDR would be that there was a developer slash publisher, I think developer live stream, where some mistake happened. So after the live stream ended, they forgot to mute the microphones, and that was the live stream after a lot of people were angry about the server issues, right? They kind of apologized and so on, and said, hey, they are working on it, blah blah blah, and some other stuff. But the issue was the mic wasn't muted, and then I'm just quoting what was hearable from the hosts after they forgot to mute the mic. So once again, it's a rough translation. So they said the daily server crashes are our fault. Those players sent me private messages to criticize us so much that our ancestors' graves are smoking. I think that's a Chinese thing. Do they really think the operation and maintenance staff are gods? Okay, so that was what people could hear, and the host didn't realize people that they could hear, and that went that was like a big huge thing for the community. So before we move on, they obviously realized that the mics weren't muted, and then they apologized, saying that it that it was not intended, and yeah, sorry for choosing those words. So from my point of view, right? So what they said after the stream, which people could hear, I feel like from what they have said, it's first of all, it's so bad that people DM those hosts and CMs and threaten them or tell their ancestors are smoking in the graves. Whatever that means, it doesn't sound great, right? So I feel like, wow, that's I can kind of I kind of have have mixed feelings. I know it's not their issues. I know the developers could have done better, but just personal insults and DMs is too much. And they are also just humans. So if they would have just chatted about it and told me that, I would be totally fine with it. Yeah, that's bad what the players did. So what do you guys think about this entire situation?
I believe it was like a host that said it, like one of the two people wearing like the maid outfit, I believe.
Yes.
And I think that person may already be fired because I believe like one of the developers, like site people stepped up and they were like formally apologizing in their place. And then after like the pause and everything, suddenly there were two different hosts that showed up on screen. So I also remembered, like, I believe it was Kotame translating a line as well that I could say if you're okay with it, Percy.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get censored by YouTube.
No, they said something about like, how do these MFers talk so much about this? Like it was it was just a crazy scenario. And then there was also like another Chinese swear word that I won't mention because I'm not exactly sure what it means, just in case. Yeah, I don't think it ended up well for that host. I will say.
Yeah.
Because apparently they were like crying as well, I heard, and everything. So
Yeah.
about it.
So what is your opinion, Peter?
I don't think the host got fired. I just think like it was just more of like oh like oh shoot I accidentally messed up, and then like just the quick shock of that. I mean,
And maybe like
you don't know
in
what's
the
gonna happen,
moment.
so you just start breaking down because you
Mhm.
made a really bad mistake. But then like
Yeah.
we don't know yet. I mean, well, I think after like a couple months we don't see them, then maybe you can assume like yeah,
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
they did get fired. But I mean, I understand where the like I understand like the dev side, and also like the staff side, and also like the community side of things. Like the staff that like they're working like overtime on this game. They they like treated like me, where I'm grinding like nearly
The
20 hours a
game.
day, but then
Mhm.
they're over here grinding developing the game like that much time as I'm grinding the game. They're putting
Yeah.
in like overtime hours since like April. So I get where like they have like they're under a lot of pressure, and like I mean it's just really high stress environment, I'd imagine. So I think this is just a common I would imagine this is just typical to happen, but it's just they made a mistake by forgetting the mic thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think just frustrations from both sides more than anything. Then.
Yeah, I totally agree. You brought up once again a good point that I certainly have the feeling these devs are really passionate about the game. I have the feeling like based on all the things they changed, like within days or after getting feedback from the people, was just amazing, and it was so refreshing to see it happen. That's why one of those reasons why I had high hopes for them, or still have. And I hope they will be able to keep it up without just destroying themselves, because it feels like they're under a lot of stress. But at the same time, once again, I want to make aware of these kind of things. But I also know players don't care, like consumers, not players. We as consumers don't care about how, when, what happened behind the scenes. We just care about the end results and the product we receive, which is fair, right? We don't need to pretend like we care really about all those things. If the game is good, if we get what we want, that's what people usually care about. There will be always people pretending like, no, I care more about that. Well, would you if the game is shit? And I don't think so, right? Like that's a general thing. I think that's not bad. It's just how humans are. Well, in general, once again, the consumers are. We care about the product we get. If the product is bad, we don't care if the person who created it has any troubles to make it happen or not. That's sadly how it is. And so from the player's perspective, we still agree that the server issue could have been handled better, or shouldn't have been that bad, and hope they learned the lesson to make the Western release better. Also, I wanted to point out that, for the future, there are a lot of people, front-end facing people, who have no idea what is going on in the background, right? Like you can't ask a CM, hey, why is like questions which a developer can answer. Like they don't have the knowledge. Same like us here sitting have no clue about server structure, just blabbering. So we wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what code needs to be fixed to make the server issue go away, right? So yeah, so TLDR, I hope this is this Chinese release is like a beta test for the Western release, to learn from their mistakes. And I really hope the community is aware of these kind of things, and the developers are aware of it, and that all helps us to have a better experience at Western release. Now let's talk about one of the other things which we frequently mentioned, a lot of people were worried about, which is the life skill changes. So they added a couple more life skills, which you guys can give your opinion if this works well. And then, of course, there is the stamina and non-stamina gathering. A lot of people were afraid, oh, life skill, you now it's gated by stamina system. So they added something like that. So now we have tested it. You guys have tested it, most likely more than I did. So who wants to be the one who gives the TLDR about the new stuff?
So a lot has actually changed. I mean, it still has a familiar feeling to it with like some of the recipes that or some of the like end results that you craft, like such as material items and like food and stuff. And there's also skill points or skill talents. The talent tree for each life skill. It's completely different, but it still has a lot of notes that are from the last closed beta test or from the just from the beta test. Sorry, not last one. That's implying that there's another closed beta test. So back then there used to just be only you would only use life skills if you had stamina. Once you're out of stamina, then you're pretty much unable to do life skills at that point. And then it was really frustrating because there's like 8 different life skills back in CBT, you were pretty much only locked into 1, maybe 2 life skills the entire time, and then you can't even touch the other ones. So it was kind of frustrating for the player base, and then they changed it to where now you can also do activities with life skill that doesn't require stamina, but then all those activities you can't sell the mats that you get from it versus the activities that you do with stamina. Most of them you can get some money out of it. So I mean that's really good for those that want to like grind several hours a day doing life skills. Continuing to level it up, be one of the first players to reach max level in a couple of these life skills. I mean, the option's there now. You definitely can. And then there's they also changed. I did mention this already. They changed a little bit of how the life skill profession tree works. Now you're able to get skill points, or what is it called? Like the skill coins is what they're using. The specialization points.
I mean,
Yeah, the
let's just
specialization coins.
Yeah, it's basically like a global skill point. Like it doesn't matter which life skill you level up, you get the coin or the skill points, and you can put it to any life skill, right? So let's just call it skill point, man. It's just a coin, but it's a point.
Yeah, so you get like these skill points, from doing any life skill. You can like maybe, I don't know, gather some mushrooms, and then you get a skill point, and then you can invest in, I don't know, like maybe some of the mining nodes. So you're still making some progress in other forms of life skills, but you don't have to like necessarily target that specific you don't have to work on like you don't have to gather or craft anything in that particular life skill. You can just do it on a different life skill. So I think that kind of freedom is really nice.
Yeah, I believe now you can also reset your skill points. Like if you go to a certain skill tree, and let's say you invested into botany, but you don't want to do botany, you can reset it with like a special ticket now. Is what I learned the other day.
Wait,
I
really?
think that's very yes, you can. I think that's very nice too, because it gives you back the skill points from that certain skill tree that you invested into.
Now,
And another thing is, it's
yeah.
at a certain amount of stamina that you spend, I believe. It's whenever you get a skill point, you can click like on your stamina bar, and it will tell you when you unlock your next skill point as well.
Do you know what currency you need to pay to get that reset ticket? Is it bound rose orb or?
No,
It's
a
bound rose
specific
orbs.
tick. It's a specific tick. Oh, the ticket itself. Ah, okay.
Yeah. So you
I mean,
have to spend 500 bound rose orbs to get the ticket. So
okay.
it's a little bit on the expensive side for, especially if like you're free to play. So you
Ah.
still have to kind of decide on what life skill you want to put skill points on, because you don't want to just keep resetting it over and over and over. That's because you do need the bound rose orbs for other stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's some kind of consequence for messing up Lifeskill, and I think it's fine. Imagine everybody. It was so like first of all, it's great to have the option to reset it, and it's also good that it's not as easy to get because life skills are part of the economy. So imagine there's like this new item which is amazing, but only one profession can craft it now. Then everyone would reset, everyone would do the same, and that person who actually did the profession for such a long time wouldn't be able to get the worth of it. So it's similar to class balance. At some point, one class will be broken, and then the next balance patch makes it ideally better, and then the other class will be broken, so everyone will get their chance. And I hope that will be the same for economy. I don't believe in perfect balance in anything. Like I don't think there will be perfect class balance. I don't think there will be perfect. Every life skill has the same amount of chance to get get the same amount of profit for X stamina invested. But I hope that there will be items introduced later which at some point will put one profession ahead and then the other one. But if you can just simply reset and then just go for that one, there is no meaning for investing into one profession. That's what I feel. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, but at the same time, that's where levels come into play, right? You can't really level up your skills as easily without using stamina as an example. However, there are the weekly quests now that you can like get a few levels a week at least, so that is really handy. I feel like that's a nice addition as well. But in the long run, I think it's still more important that whoever focuses on like a certain life skill should get rewarded more for focusing on that life skill.
Which is currently the case, as far as I know. One other thing they added, I think, is so you have the nodes for each life skill. The first node you unlock, for example, you go to gathering fat. You can decide if you want to gather mushrooms tier 1 or if you want to focus on gathering, I don't know, berries tier 1. So let's say you take tier 1 berries and then you have already points. You could unlock tier 2 berries, which would give better buffs, but you can't because that's also kind of globally time gated, which I think is a good idea too. Otherwise, people who can just grind 24/7 can just max out and then just have the like a really huge advantage and just make a lot of tier 3 products, even though most of the people are in tier 1. So that way, once tier 2 gets unlocked, I'm just simplifying it. If there's no really like tier 2 gear like that, but let's assume there's tier 2 and then the global gate lifts and then the tier 2 node for life skill also gets unlocked. Then everyone is once again at the same point. Gatherers can do tier 2 stuff, smithing people can do tier 2 stuff. So once again, this time gate, it's well thought, and it also applies to the progression of life skill, but not the levels. Once again, you can fully max it out. Once you have it maxed out, you don't have to wait. You only have to wait until the node gets unlocked globally, and then you can invest and just produce the stuff or farm the stuff. That is the case, right? So you guys are fine with that too, or do you guys think that it's too much if those nodes are also globally managed? Gated.
No, I think it's fine as with how it is at the moment. Like it even is stated by like 7 days until the next unlock, or I think the next one was like 20 something days until you unlock like tier 3. So it's okay.
And Ubidov, are you fine or are you still stun locked?
Partially stun locked, but like there is a lot of benefit for them to keep stuff behind the time gate, like you said, like that way people don't feel like they have to grind several hours a day just on the life skill so they can maximize the most amount of money. But then at the same time, it makes it kind of hard to sell some of these mats because everyone is unlocking at the same time. There's currently like a small problem right now in the auction house where there's just way too much supply on like all these material items that no one's really selling these items. Not enough demand, I think.
Yeah, but then again, wouldn't that support the idea of time gate? Like, let's assume there was no time gate for tier 2 nodes, and we don't need it yet, right? Then people who can grind would just start already creating supply. So it would, like, they are able to create supply way earlier than it's required. so it just overall increases the amount we will have at the point where we need it. So that would once again be the same position. But when the node is available when everyone needs it, then everyone needs to get it together and craft. So there will be like a higher demand than a supply for quite a long time until people have enough, reset enough time and have the stamina to get the supply up, or the demand goes down. So there is that still happening once the node gets unlocked. But if the node was already now unlocked, I can guarantee you, like I think it will be the case that by the time we need it, there will be already the same situation with too many supply, way too many supply than the demand can match up. Don't you think so?
Look, I just want to sell my mats. You guys know me. I'm a no lifer. I wanted to play the market. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm doing.
See, it works. It works in that regard. Like it bars sweaty people like me from gaming the market. So now I have to kind of wait a little bit longer to sell stuff. I have to sell stuff
Don't
with
worry.
everyone else.
Okay,
Just become a smithing man. It's pretty good right now.
gotcha. So I just caught the no lifer trying to influence the plebs to change something which would work actively against us. Got it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like it really helps. I think the more casual side out, so that sweaty people like me don't get a huge advantage, and I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
It sucks for you, but it's good for the majority, and I think that should be the slogan of the entire game. It sucks for the hardcores, but it's good for the majority, and that is the winning title, man. I'm pretty sure. Don't you guys agree that should be the focus? Write it down above your screen. The Bokura A+ sucks for the no lifers, but benefits the majority. Winning slogan.
I understand, Percy. You're one of them now.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Okay, let's move to the next one, which is housing. I'm gonna admit I didn't invest so much time into housing, so I will just pass the ball to Kai. So, what did you do? How do you like it? And by the way, we all know that housing is currently in a testing phase. In season 2, so October, will be the full housing feature released. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, Kai, how is the current one, and what do you expect the full housing system for features to have, which would be perfectly fitting into this, or should be there?
For housing, I just go in my house. I do my dailies generally, and that's about it. Like I do my housing dailies because you have some housing dailies now that you can do as well, where it's like do like 3 missions a day and deliver some materials. You can either collect them yourself or buy them with your housing tokens, which you're still guaranteed a profit every time. Outside of that, I do my farming every day as well. However, you can apparently invite people to your house already. I believe Bidoof has been doing that or has people in his house. I haven't experimented with that at all, so he'll have to talk about that in a second. Because I think that levels up your house faster when you have other people in there, which is not really related to anything other than some like titles and achievements, I believe. But for the farming, it's something I would like to have is like sprinklers or something simple, a little quality of life that would feed or water the plants automatically. Because at the moment you have to do like every plant individually watering when it comes to that. So that's what I hope for, as well as of course people being able to visit your house, which they mentioned will be there when it's actually in full release for the housing. Outside of that, I haven't really done much inside the housing, like furniture wise, but I did look into the crafting system, which is pretty simple as well. You just bring the ingredients, you craft the thing, and then it takes a couple of hours before it's done.
I see. So that's like more of like a solo perspective into housing,
Yeah.
and then mine. So what I'm going to talk about is like how it is to actually invite homies into your house.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know I
Into
don't
the
have
hood.
homies at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the start, I invited like 4 of my homies into the house. So we have up to 5 people cohabitating with in your house, yourself included, and then you guys are all able to like progress because you guys all share the same progression for that house. You pretty much level up faster because everyone has their own set of dailies. So that means like we had like what 3 dailies per person. So so technically, if everyone did their dailies, we progress 5 times faster through the housing levels. So right now we're like level 6, I think, out of 8,
Yeah.
and like a solo player would be like probably level 2 or level 3 right now.
I'm
It takes
currently level 3. I just hit it today as an example.
But then in that regard, you do level up a lot faster with having 5 people. And then what Kai mentioned, like he wished that he had like the sprinklers to water his garden daily. With 5 friends, you can just split the garden because there's still like a house limit to how many gardens you can have or plots. It's not per person, it's just based on the house. So what you can do is just split them up. But then right now, I think it's a little like Percy mentioned earlier. It's still in kind of like a beta. Unfortunately, my homies can't water the plants for me. They can't really do much with the crops. So I'm forced to just be the gardener for my house.
What else do they do besides the dailies for in your house?
They use their own. They have like their own pool of housing currency. Yeah, they're able to just use it while I have to spend and get upgrades. so I'm over here spending every house coin that I have to upgrade the house, and now I can't have fun. But then my other 4 friends, they can spend it on like random furnishing items. They can put it on like, because you can also buy like bound life skill items. They do that. So yeah, I mean, good for them. At least I'm making 4 other people happy.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait. If I understand it correctly, then you are investing in the vertical progression of the house, right? And they are making it look better. What is wrong with that? They are spending their coins to actually make your house look better.
I'd like to have that option too. Like, can you give me coins? I wish you were able to just transfer coins.
What? Okay.
Coins?
I mean, I can clearly see the benefit of having people you live together. Once again, people who don't know, this is separate from visitors. Visitors should be able to do that. Like, they can visit, they can check out, they can hang out. That's something they would add later, right? I don't think it's available now, right?
Not this time. I tried to visit someone else's house and I just can't.
Yeah. So you can currently only add like people you want to live together. So they will get permissions to work on stuff. Not everything, but they can, for example, as you said, buy furnitures, make the house look better, make it to a bar, a strip club, or whatever, right? And then role play. So that sounds like a huge W for me. Of course, it sucks if you're solar, but at the same time, you can. It's not like you can't get those things. There are things hidden behind. You have forced to do with multiple people. You can slowly progress and make your own farmhouse slowly and make it bigger and bigger over time. So the progression is there. But I love the idea of people being able to live together with you and decorating the house with you. I like it. But yeah. If you want to do that, you might have to hold back some coins and not level the house up and then put some furniture.
I mean, I tried to I had a little bit left of the housing points or the currency. I tried to buy something nice for myself. How about this like small plate of sushi that I can place down? that thing costed like pretty much my whole budget. It was like 10,000 coins, which is like, if you guys don't know that that's like a whole day's worth of just farming and daily. So I spent all that currency on a plate of sushi. That thing was the most smallest smallest plate of sushi I've ever seen.
That is a deluxe sushi. Yep. But also, I still don't get it, man. The other guys or the homies you say are basically buying those things for you for the house, and you're like, no, I didn't buy it, so it doesn't count.
Wait. Oh, okay, not to throw my homies under the bus, but then like, haven't really seen them putting anything that much in the house.
Ooh.
I think they might be spending it on life skills, just getting
Holy
some
Scott.
free.
So how do you spend it on life skills? Like, is it like tools or something, or what is the depth of this here?
So right next to the daily guide, there's a shop, or there's a person that has a shop. And then it's like the third tab and then
Oh yeah,
no,
where you
actually
can buy like
I don't know if it's
I know
the third
which one
tab,
you're
but it's
talking about.
yeah, it is the third tab. So there's a furnishing tab where you can just buy a bunch of like furnishing items, and there's a second tab that's like it involves gardening, and then third tab it was like all these like various bound life skill mats that you can get. So
Right.
I don't know, maybe they're spending it on that.
Maybe they're spending for like the weekly quests. Yeah, maybe that could help them.
Oh! The seed of suspicion was planted in Vidov's mind. I mean, okay, I am back to what we were talking about. So it's good that you can exchange it for bound. It's important that it's bound. Otherwise, if it wasn't bound, I can guarantee you your homies were spending it on those kind of things to sell it. But it's luckily bound. So one other question I had left before we close this entire housing thing, and before you guys give your final verdict of the current state, current state of housing. If you level up housing, what are the things you unlock? New furniture or what else?
So it's new furniture. You also unlock more plot, which is helpful because plot you can plant more stuff, and then you can sell the stuff to the same vendor that I was mentioning a little bit ago for more housing currency. Or you could just keep the flowers and plant them somewhere too. You have the option to do that too.
Oh, to make it look beautiful?
Yeah.
Yep.
Have like a actual flower garden in front of your house or something.
Nice.
Yeah, make yourself look rich because you can sell all those later on if you wanted to. And then I guess I can also mention like some of the vertical progression for your house. So like when you level up your house, you can also because at the very beginning you have no access to your entire island. Like you're actually encased in this invisible rectangle around your stronghold. But then after you level up your stronghold or your island, I keep calling it stronghold because that it kind of reminds me of like Lost Arks.
Yeah.
Yep. Whenever you level up your housing, then you can use your housing currency to unlock other areas of your island. So it like removes part of the rectangle. So and then also it increases the size interior, so you're able to like move more freely around inside the house.
Nice. I'm pretty sure a lot of those housing fanatics, role players, are pogging here. So TLDR, the current beta housing system, for a score from 1 to 10, where would you put it, Peter?
At the current state, like it's still in a beta, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the current beta state.
I think I would put it right now at a. I want to say I don't want to say 8, but like probably like 6 or 7. There's still like there's still a few issues. I have like, for example, you can only build close to your house. So like the parts that you unlock around the house, you can't build there at the moment. I like to just have the freedom of building wherever on the island that you have, rather than just in the like small square that you have. And then there's the one that I mentioned earlier where it was like only I can really manage the crops, so all my friends are just staring at me working on every crop, watering every one of them, and then they're over here still spending stuff on bound life skill items.
Now you are sure they do it, right? Earlier it was just a suspicion. Okay.
No, I'm
After this podcast goes live, you will have less people cohabitating with you.
Shoot, I'm gonna be by myself, and then they're gonna move over to Kai's place,
just like me. Well,
Kai's like, yeah. Okay, Kai.
No,
Kai.
you can
No,
keep
no, no,
going,
no.
keep going.
I'm just messing around. They know I'm just messing around.
Yeah. Disclaimer: he's not like once we go offline, I will leave the mic open. He will tell you guys that's the truth.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something offensive in Chinese, and I'm gonna have to apologize. And I'm trying.
Okay,
Sorry,
Kai.
house coins.
What is your score for of the current state of housing system, and what do you want to have added to the final one besides the sprinklers?
I mean, yeah, that's one of the main things I want to sprinkle. For me personally, it would be around a 6 or a 7. I feel like they can give the single player variants of housing much more freedom rather than being restricted by certain things. Like I think another thing you can do is move the house itself, because I remember going to the housing tab and trying to move it around, but it just didn't let me, because I feel like having freedom to just place it where you want, but it's like within the cube. We're not. They should just expand that as far as Bidoof mentioned. Like I just want more freedom in the housing region itself more than anything. I feel like that's a major part to me, as someone that would potentially invest more time in that.
Oh,
Wait, move your house, like
The house
be able
itself to
to.
like the center as an example. You
Yeah.
know, like
That'd be crazy.
place it somewhere else so you can
that
have like
that would be
something
so
in the
insane.
backyard and a front yard. I don't know. You make it up.
That'd be insane. Yeah. Like, sorry to interrupt you, but like that'd be huge because there's so much freedom of where you can actually move certain objects. Like for example, like I'm trying to move like the sushi I bought. You can move it up or down. You can move it like X, Y, or Z axis. You can have it collide with other objects. So you can put your house in some really interesting spots. I don't know, place in the sky, and then you have to do like some kind of jump quest to get up there.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Only up,
and then
like,
and
yeah.
then you and then you like rotate it a little bit, like rotate the house so it's not like flat. It's just at an angle. It's upside down.
I mean, the only thing they need for that is once again the option for us to move the entire house, but also locking in every furniture. So I can totally imagine you move the house and every furniture which you put in the house is just floating around where the house was before. So I can see those kind of weird shit happening. So I hope like what if they at the house move the entire house, that everything you have in the house moves together with it. That should be the case. And I can totally see those kind of ideas you just brought up, like people putting the house in the air and then you have to do a jump puzzle, or putting the house in a corner and people spawn and have to solve a maze to get there. Ooh, so many things you can do, man. Oh, that is such a great idea. Write it down, please, A+ or Bokura. Such a nice thing to have. It just gives the community the tools to make content. That's huge. Okay, so that was the housing thing. So I'm looking forward to October to see what they will add, and if they listen to us, to this humble podcast of 3 plebs. I mean, 2 no-lifers and 1 pleb. And if they will make some changes we discussed about here. The next thing on the list is something we also talked a lot about before the beta, because it was one of the concerns. It was one of the things we mentioned. Hey, you can buy a ticket which gives you triple loot, and you can buy it in. There's no limit. You can buy it with bound gems. You have only X amount of bound gems as a free-to-play player, so it's kind of like forcing you into into buying, and then everyone who is a whale has always triple loot. So that was really bad. So what they changed, my TLDR, they changed the ticket to an item or like a food, which has a hard limit of 10 per week, right?
Yeah, per week.
Yes, that is the limit in the shop. Yes,
exactly. That is the limit for the shop. Then the same item with triple loot can be crafted by a certain profession with gathering and in combination with cooking. And you need a rare item you can only get. It's an RNG rare item you get. It's an apple when you are gathering. And you need a lot of those to make that food so players can cook it and put it in the auction house, and people who want to run dungeons, they can buy it. So I love this idea. It's still there. I think it's a good idea to have that food. I love it that the one in the shop is limited to 10, just 10 per week, and the players can now craft it as a food. What do you guys think about this change? Do you like it or not? Let's start this time with Bidov.
So it's a little bit more expensive now to buy it as a whale. I mean, you could still whale to get the items, I think, because I mean, the supply is still there. Like I mentioned earlier, like there's not a lot of demand, but there's a lot of supply. So if you're a whale, you can still buy it if you want. It's a little bit more expensive. I think the amount that it costed back in the shop, it was like 60 bound rose orbs. That's like 30,000 unbound Luno. So right now in the shop, it's like, or in the auction house, it's like 45k Luno. So it's a little bit more for whales.
Yeah.
But then I think it's still a plus for the game because at least the money is going into the pockets of the players. It's not getting deleted. So I think that's really good for like, you know, people that don't really swipe a lot. They can at least make some money off of whales while the whales I guess whale away. But then in case you're like scared, like, oh shoot, the whales are gonna get ahead of me. Like I said, I played the game a lot. I rarely use these drop cupcakes. These like, as long as you're just grinding a lot, you're never gonna need you're never gonna need these at all. So I think that's a really nice thing to have. If you don't have a lot of time, then maybe you can consider buying a bunch if you have a good wallet. But ultimately, it's not something to be concerned about.
I mean, it's also one thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's also a thing which doesn't work on dailies, right? It just works on the grind for the 1% or the number go up kind of people. So if you're a casual, you are doing your daily content. That doesn't work on the daily content, anyways. So so that doesn't matter.
That's very important.
Yep. I know, man. I know. I should get the title, the casual disclaimer. I will change it in Discord. Don't worry. If enough people like this idea, Keck. Yeah, but so once again, this loot thing, triple loot, is you don't need to grind hard mode dungeons. The people who do it, like I do it, I do the first one, like I clear every hard mode at least once to get the guaranteed legendary box, which everyone gets. But that's not even mandatory because you don't need golden gear currently to progress content-wise. I love the idea that all those hard contents are for the grinders there, if they want to be over-prepared for the next hard mode dungeon and the next hard mode dungeon, but that's outside of the scope of the mandatory content for normal progression or for the majority, which is really well done. And yeah, that's why I don't see any issues with the triple loot part. I really like it that it moved away from the shop, which just benefits the pockets of the devs, you know, and now it also benefits the people who are doing gathering and cooking and making that food.
Yeah, and one more thing I forgot to mention, and this is also pretty important. So in the dungeons, there's a pity system for gold gear. You, if you don't, I believe it's like 5, right, guys?
Five
clears.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then of not getting a single gold item, you will get a gold item in like the run after like the 5th run. So
yeah,
I mean, if you just constantly run dungeons all day, you'll eventually get all your gold gear. And then especially like if you're one of those min-maxers that want to like maximize the random rolls on the gear, like you'll definitely get those just by playing the game. I mean, I've pretty much gotten all my gear pieces that have like this substat or like best in slot rolls on each of them. So I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah. It's a good disclaimer mentioning that there's the pity is pretty low, right? Like I really like it that they keep it less grindy, as least grindy as possible. 5 runs is like for a grinder. Once again, this optional content who just want to have best in slot numbers. It is 5. It's not basically nothing, right? How long do?
Like,
yeah.
That really depends.
Yeah, it really
That really
depends.
depends.
If we were to do it now, it would take like, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes maybe. But if we were doing it early on, like day one, it will maybe take like 50 minutes, like 40 to 50, because early on the goblin ones took like a lot longer than they take now, as an example. So it depends on which dungeon or when you're doing it as well, of course.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that was an interesting thing to mention, or a lot of interesting things to mention, so that people are aware what changed, and especially from the casual side of view. That's all for the list of things for the Chinese version. Now we will move to the stuff recently, revealed or showcased about the closed beta test. So the recruitment phase started, which lasts until the 20th, right? Or was it 21st?
10th of August, I believe, is until the recruitment, and then the winners are picked from 15 to 20.
Okay, so that was the case. Perfect. Thank you, Kai. So that is going on. So if you guys didn't apply for the beta yet, go ahead and apply. You have to join the official Discord and then fill out a form. If someone already posted the form somewhere, you can use that form too, and just fill it out. And you will, if you're lucky, you will get access to that one. So if the winners are chosen till the 20th, there's a high chance that the beta will be around 22nd, 23rd, and so on. So I don't think it will be right after the end of winner selection. There's usually like a couple days between. So expect that to be the time where the beta going to be happening. And there was one thing which brought a lot of attention to it, which was a rebate. Okay, so for those who aren't aware of it, if you play the beta, the shop will be open. If you invest, buy stuff, buy costumes, and buy rose orbs, based on how much you spend, but it's not like the more like there's an infinite, like if the thing up to everything below 450 and everything above 450 are like two different tiers. And if you are, and then there's also the important factor of what your level of your character was. So if your level of your character was high and you paid or you bought rose orbs, you will get at release all that refunded plus more in bound form. So that is something which was not well perceived by the general player base, because it's a closed beta test. So a limited amount of people will be selected, and they can benefit from buying stuff and get more, get it refunded, because they are. What I understood is A+ wants to test everything, right? So they want to test the shops, they want to see if everything works, and if people want to put in money, and then if the transaction things are working, they will get everything refunded plus more. So I think the idea that you get everything back plus more is good, but the issue is that only if the selected people can do it and can benefit from it. TLDR, people are not happy with the situation that what if I want to spend money and want to buy costumes and want to get the extra rose up for release, but I'm not selected? That's unfair. So people are unhappy that they are not able to spend in the CBT. What is your opinion about this situation, guys? What is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How should it be? Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bad since not everyone's gonna get access to it. Everybody wants an even playing field, and I can completely understand that. It's important to keep in mind that like the Chinese version had this exact same rebate also in their closed beta test, but I think their closed beta test was like open to a lot more people than probably we will have, I imagine. There's of course different solutions to this that people have been discussing already, whether it's like an open beta or like not no rebate at all. I think it just varies per person. It's mainly like a cultural difference, which is why I think it's something that's so unheard of here, and it's also making people upset and frustrated, understandably.
Okay, what is your point of view here? A bit of
I like what you said. Like, it's really unfair for people to, have this advantage to play the closed beta, because now they're able to get all this extra premium currency for the launch. I mean, like the MMO community for the past few years is just built upon FOMO, and when people can't get what they want, or like or like in this case, like at the same time as other people, then that creates FOMO, and now it feels like they are far behind, and they don't want to they don't want to play anymore, so they just don't even play at launch. So I think it's really bad to have it for a closed beta. I mean, some people mentioned, and I was reading this while I was like eating breakfast here. I was reading some of the comments from some of the community, and they said that, other games, they do rebates, but then they also eventually open it for open beta. But then, like, they didn't. I think it's important to like have that as like a information, or like a disclaimer that they'll eventually be opened up to the public for everyone to at least have a chance to do it. Um, we like you guys all seen the survey that they posted in the official, right?
yeah.
Their survey question. So let me scroll back up here. So the question was saying, like, would gradually opening CBT access to more players over time make the rebate feel more acceptable? That was the question that they asked the community. And honestly, like, they should like directly say that we're just gonna have open beta test, because right now the way they worded it sounds like still not everyone is going to have access. And I think that's important to distinguish and clarify that like we will open up the server to everyone eventually, not just like we'll open it up to like a few more players. I think that's very important. Just have the rebate, just have everyone access to the rebate, or just don't have the rebate at all, I think, for global.
Yeah. I think I agree. This is an advantage. If you want to give it to someone, it shouldn't be exclusive to a certain amount of RNG chosen people. I would prefer to either just remove it or make it something like, I don't know, give the people on the webs, like those who are not chosen, can go to a website or something and still put in their money and then get refund. I don't know, man. That might be an idea, to be honest. Like, make the same. If you're not selected, you can do it on the website and get the rebate on it. Yeah, or just make it into OBT. But here's the thing, right? So we have like a nice communication with the CMs, with the publishers, and so on. Based on what they said, what they are, or what the question was, or the poll was, I have the feeling there won't be an OBT. This might be the test before the release. It's likely the case. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said, "Hey, we will add more people." They would have said, "No, you will have the same chance again on the next test." They didn't. So once again, I think this is the final test before release, and I have the feeling the amount of people who will have access to it will be a lot, but it will not satisfy the general opinion about this rebate discussion, because at the end of the day, it's still a C at the beginning of the BT, which means closed. So that alone will be a factor which will, even if you add like way more people, double the size, triple the size of CBT testers, it's still closed, and people can still argue, "No, I wasn't able to get in, and I'm not. I'm at a disadvantage from the start because I can't pay for the more, or I can't buy more costumes." But it's legit.
I mean, I was reading some ideas on the Discord, like somewhere like just either have it or not. Some people were recommending just don't have it and have it like the first week or two of launch, maybe. Another idea that I was intrigued by as a creator, of course, was like have something be like have the closed beta, have Twitch drops be a thing, and then watch X streamer for a certain amount of time, then they guaranteed get access to the test. You can still call it a closed beta, but people that want to try the game and want access to it have a way to access it. And I found that pretty good idea from what I've read, of course, but there's many ideas floating around, so they have a lot of things to choose from at this point. It's just how it is now. It's not what it is according to the player base, clearly, or the community.
Yeah, I mean, if they, yeah, sorry, go on, Bido.
Oh, sorry. Like, how much time do they have to decide on this? By the way,
until
Probably
this
like
beta
a
starts.
month.
Yeah.
until the beta starts. Okay, double checking.
I mean, the idea with Twitch drops, like if the amount of people is still limited, right? It doesn't matter with the Twitch drops. But if they want to add infinite amount of people via Twitch drop, they could have also just accepted everyone who applied for the CBT. It leads to the same increase and not feeling like a CBT. So I don't think that is the solution. The solution would be really either give people who are not able to participate in the CBT also a chance through other stuff to get the same rebate. Okay, that would be the only solution I can see here, except they decide to remove it. But I think they will keep it. They want to test in game the entire cash shop system. That's what I assume. Once again, I'm not sure. And if they want to do that, fine, do it. Have the rebate there, but allow other peoples who are or other players who are not lucky or weren't able to participate in the CBT, give them the chance on website or something to get the rebate too. So I think that would be the ideal solution if they can make it happen. Do you guys think it's a good solution to have, once again, the website thing on top of CBT?
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea because at least those who don't have access can also do it. But if that is the case, they need to make that very clear and announce that publicly so people don't feel betrayed at all. So
yeah, it's all about communication.
Yeah, like not only have it on like Discord, but on other platforms too, for sure.
Their Twitter, their website, they have so much
reach.
Yeah. Ultimately, I just hope that they don't remove the rebate, but if they do, then they do, because like with our experience in Star Residence, we know that the cosmetics are really expensive. So you would like to swipe now so that you can actually have a better shot at affording some of these cosmetics.
Yeah,
but then like I'm not saying like everything's expensive there, because there's stuff that's like dollar menu cheap, but then there's like other stuff that's like luxury brands, and I'm like talking about the luxury brands. I mean, like every like even the dollar menu cosmetics are nice looking, but then some of us want to at least afford the luxury Louis Vuitton kind of like cosmetics. So it'd be nice to have the rebates still, but then if they have to get rid of it, then all good, it's fine.
Yeah,
if it makes the population in a much more healthier state, then I'm all for it.
Basically, you're telling me you don't buy it because it looks so much better. You buy it because it's so exclusive and limited, because not a lot of poor people will have it, right? Did I understand you correctly?
A little bit like that. Yeah, I mean, like that's how it was back in like in OG, like Blue Protocol original, when everyone would just buy the same the like the newest cosmetics. It was like a status symbol. I think that's a common thing in many Asian countries, just status symbol. But then yeah.
I mean,
I can't beat around the bush.
I mean, I can guarantee you it's not only Asian countries, everywhere in the world. A lot of things in the world cost because they just expensive, which makes it limited. So people buy it even if there's a cheaper, better option with more functionalities. And you just buy it because it's a status symbol, not for what the purpose is.
I'm just here to use my cosmetics and just use my mount, just sit at town AFK while I'm asleep.
Yep.
Where my arrow mount at?
Yeah, and then you will see coins thrown at in front of you, and then you can gather it together and then afford the next costume.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, boys, I guess that's it for today's podcast. That was a pretty intensive, long one with a lot of stun locks.
My bad, guys.
Not that many. It's fine. Don't
It's
worry.
fine. It's fine. We still have some stun grenades left, so it was not used that often. Yeah. Then once again, guys, I really appreciate that you guys are here every podcast. We can talk about all those interesting topics, bring awareness to good, the bad, and the ugly. It should be the title of this podcast, to be honest. And I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Kai. Thank you very much, Bidov. I hope to see you guys on the next podcast too, maybe with new guests. And until then, thank you very much for watching, listening, and see you guys in game or in the CBT on the next podcast. Till then, stay resonant. Bye bye. Bidov, say bye bye.
I already did. What? Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.